Newcastle will hold a minute's silence before the game following the death of their former winger Christian Atsu in the devastating earthquakes in Turkey and Syria.
Very difficult day. To wake up to that news was devastating for me, everyone associated with Newcastle, everyone who knew Christian. As you say, it puts everything into perspective. We're devastated for him and his family.
Damn. That's just one of our 10 emotional moments. One player couldn't say goodbye to his club. Another lost his leg in a plane crash that killed all of his teammates. But before we get to that, at number 9, Deli Alli was robbed at knife point in his own home, resulting in an injury that could end his career.
Good morning. The England midfielder Deli Alli is held at knife point during a burglary at his home. Jewellery was stolen and Alli punched during the incident at his house in North London.
After the Spurs midfielder spent well over $2 million on a mega mansion and a few fancy rides, he thought just one single bodyguard would keep him safe. But out of nowhere, lots of Premier League players started becoming victims of robberies. But Deli didn't seem to be impressed. He thought these fences and that, a warning sign, would keep him safe. So instead of watching his back, dudes started flexing his watches on the gram. And that mistake almost costed him his life. So one night, when he was playing pool with the boys, a group of armed robbers hopped over his fence, pulled out knives, beat him, and quickly fled the scene after taking every piece of gold they could find. So Deli wasn't only down £350,000, he also walked around with a black eye and couldn't train properly for weeks. I'm just happy he made it out alive, which could also be said about Lionel Messi, who was just 18 minutes away from death. Back in 2016, Leo and the Argentinian squad suffered a 3-0 loss in the World Cup qualifiers. So as soon as the team left the stadium, they headed straight to the airport to board this airplane, the Arvo RJ85. And at first, this seemed like a regular aircraft. But 4 hours in, the plane ran out of fuel. So out of nowhere, the entire team and club staff were in danger. As the gas meter was in the red, pilots started contacting every airport or landing strip they could, but nothing. Nobody heard them, and the pilots started panicking. Minutes went by, and the entire team was holding on to their dear life until someone finally picked up. And with only 18 minutes left on the clock, the plane had just made it down on time. But Messi didn't realize how lucky he was, because weeks later, these two players watched all of their teammates die after a devastating crash in that exact same airplane.
The deadly plane crash, the images of that team celebrating along the way on their journey. But then the flight overnight crashing, nearly everyone on board was killed. The flight was carrying a Brazilian soccer team to a finals match, crashing on a hillside in Colombia. And we have just learned here what happened right before that crash. That team had so much to look forward to, celebrating 71 people killed, but miraculously, 6 were found outside the plane. Somehow, they survived.
Na hora, eu não quis sair dali. Aí eu vi o fogo. Aí eu vi o Foma e por olhar para ele, ele insistiu para eu sentar com ele. E aí eu saí lá de trás e fui sentar junto com o Foma. Essa foi a parte também que eu lembro.
E quando eu acordei e aí veio esse psicólogo e com os doutores, junto com os doutores da Colômbia e os doutores brasileiros do clube, da Chapecoense. E aí o psicólogo falou, ó, Jacques, o seu avião caiu, o avião de vocês caiu, fez boom, você perdeu a perna, não vai poder mais jogar futebol.
Uma coisa boa.
Damn, that's one of the most tragic stories I've ever seen. But not all moments are as heartbreaking, because these two Liverpool fans couldn't handle their emotion when they competed in a £10,000 penalty shootout. And after eliminating 48 contestants, they headed to Anfield to decide who would walk away $10K richer.
Any fingers across for the both of them?
Our first penalty taker, Stevie, from Fazakerley. He's a council worker and a lifelong Liverpool fan as well.
Oh, he's slotted. Right, come on, lad.
Easy, innit?
Well done.
Craig is up next. Craig against Oscar Kelly.
Oh! What a pen that is. Take that, lad, didn't it? Hey?
Stevie has to score.
Oh.
Oh, it's saved.
Lad, he got
Mine.
Chris coming in.
Yeah.
For £10,000.
Take your time. Forget who's watching. Thanks, please.
Score!
Get in!
Wow,
Dude couldn't stop smiling, which can't be said about number 5, because when club icons leave or retire, it leads to some of the most emotional speeches in football history.
I una relació de tant amor, de tanta passió entre el Barça i jo. Crec que era el moment de deixar-nos un espai, de deixar-nos una mica d'aire i n'estic convençut que en un futur doncs, tornaré a estar aquí. Dankeschön. Die Familie Ribéry, sie lieben euch.
You know what? Thank you will never ever be enough. But I tell you what, I'm going to come back here one day, and I'm going to be supporting this team and the players for years to come. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I love you all.
Now, obviously, saying goodbye to your club is difficult, but I can't imagine saying goodbye to my dad.
Het is een lastige week voor mij geweest. Mijn vader heeft woensdag 2 hersenbloedingen gehad. Waarvan de laatste fataal voor hem is geweest. Zijn lichaam is er nog wel, maar zijn hersenen doen het niet meer en de doktoren kunnen niks meer voor hem doen. Dus voor mij is het een pittige week geweest. Ik kan niet de hele tijd zijn hand vasthouden en ik denk dat hij wel weet dat het goed is. En ik denk dat hij juist wilde dat ik hier vandaag zou staan. Dus.
Hou je goed?
Ja, is goed, dankjewel.
And with that, we've made it to the final 3. The time Zlatan got so emotional, he was almost kicked out of France. It's all because referees are acting crazy lately, making out on the pitch, drawing alien signs, and even treating Zlatan like he's a dog or something. So after the ref let Bordeaux's goalkeeper get away with picking up a back pass and PSG went on to lose the game, he snapped.
Play 15 years, never seen referee in this country. Don't even deserve PSG should be in this country.
Damn, Zlatan was pissed. But the French Disciplinary Commission didn't care whether or not he was right, because they banned him for 4 games. And a French politician also told him to leave the country if he didn't like it there. But that was just a regular league game. What happened to Drogba's Chelsea has gone down as one of the most painful exits in history. The Blues were up against Barcelona in the 2009 Champions League semi-finals. During the first game in Spain, both teams couldn't find the net, so everything was on the line for the second leg at Stamford Bridge. And only 9 minutes in, Essien shocked the world.
Lampard looking to pull it back. And Essien!
Chelsea fans were hyped, and they dominated the rest of the game. But there was one man that kept sabotaging them, Tom Henning. It depends on who you ask, but according to Chelsea fans, he denied them 4 penalties. Alves foul on Malouda, Abidal dragging Drogba's shirt, Piqué literally slapping the ball inside the 16, and Balak's shot on Eto's arm, which resulted in this iconic shot of him chasing the ref. And even though all of that was super annoying, Chelsea was still in the lead 1-0 and they were deep into injury time. But one important detail we gotta mention is that back in 2009, an away goal counted double, which meant Barca only needed 1 goal to kick Chelsea out of the tournament and still make it to the final. And in the 93rd minute...
But it's Messi! It's Iniesta!
That shot resulted in one of the most notorious and emotional moments ever.
After the final whistle, we might hear more of this from UEFA. The disappointment, the despair is turning ugly. And we'll stay with these pictures because they are part of the story, not a seemly part of it. And man there trying to stop Drogba getting himself into further trouble.
Now, as disgraceful as that might have been, nothing is worse than being killed by your own family. This is the tragic story of former Ajax player Jody Lukoki. Jody was considered one of Amsterdam's most talented wingers back in 2011. He had the speed, skill, charisma, and ability to finish. But as the years went by, Jody couldn't live up to the hype and slowly started to fumble.
Nou, je laatste keer bij Ajax, want ik lees allemaal geruchten dat je verhuurd wil worden of verkocht wil worden. Wat zijn jouw plannen?
Dat weet ik nog niet. Beide opties zijn bespreekbaar. Verhuren, verkopen, bij Ajax blijven. Alles is bespreekbaar, dus ik zie het wel.
And that's exactly what happened. He left Ajax for smaller teams in the Netherlands to get some minutes in, but even there he couldn't succeed and eventually transferred to Bulgaria and later Turkey. 6 years went by and most of us had forgotten about him, until his unexpected comeback on the Dutch fields in 2021. This was supposed to be his time to shine, but never ended up playing a single minute for his new club because he suffered a terrible knee injury. And shortly after, the worst thing imaginable happened. He ended up in a physical fight with 2 of his cousins and a friend of theirs. He took some hard punches from them. When he finally got home, the pain in his head and in the knee that he'd been struggling with for so long became unbearable. He rushed to the hospital and everything went downhill from there. His leg had to be amputated due to a serious infection and oxygen deficiency. After the surgery, Jody was temporarily kept in a coma, and his son was praying for a miracle. But on Monday, the 9th of May, 2022, his heart gave up.
Er zijn soms belangrijkere dingen dan voetbal, vaak zelfs. En vandaag is zo'n dag. Zo'n dag waar je met gemengde gevoelens naar een voetbalwedstrijd gaat kijken. Want het zal u vast niet ontgaan zijn, begin deze week kwam het bericht naar buiten dat Jody Lukoki is overleden. Op 29-jarige leeftijd. Een verschrikkelijk bericht voor de hele voetbalwereld, maar ook in het bijzonder voor alles en iedereen dat Twente een warm hart toedraagt. Want het was natuurlijk zijn laatste club. Hij speelde het nooit in een officiële wedstrijd hier in Enschede, maar hij heeft wel onderdeel mogen uitmaken van dit team. En de rest is geschiedenis. Letterlijk, want Jody Lukoki gaan we niet meer op een veld terugzien. Een onwaarschijnlijk bericht waar hier in Enschede ook zeer geschokt op is gereageerd.